Hello and welcome to the Goddess Inside. I am Osset, and today we're going to be talking about why the Egyptian gods have animal heads. Many times we'll see the Egyptian gods and goddesses depicted as a full-bodied animal, and sometimes we see them as a human body with a animal head. And sometimes we might wonder, like, why is that? And why are there so many? And why are there so many that are similar? Why there's a couple of different ones that have a hawk head. There's a couple of different ones that might have a crocodile head or be in the form of a frog. And what this comes down to is that it all comes down to the word in Egyptian for God, which is neter. And that word is where we get our word nature from. And if you think about it, that means that everything that is within nature is part of the divine, is part of the sanctity of divinity. And so for the gods themselves to embody this portion of the natural world, it would make sense to the minds of the ancient Egyptians. The other part of that has to do with the daily life, the way of life, and what the ancient Egyptians experienced and how they experienced it. So all of the elements had kind of this embodiment of a god. There was the wind, that was an embodiment of the god Shu. There was the moisture, and that was the embodiment of the goddess Tefnut. There was the river itself, and that was the embodiment of the god Happy. There was the ibis bird, that was the embodiment of Thoth, or the baboon in Thoth's form as a baboon. We have Horus in the form of a hawk. We have Isis and Nephthys in the forms of kites, which are a small hawk. So as you can see, there are all of these different animals that embody the divine. Now, if we look at the animal itself and the characteristics and the purpose or the focus of that god, it has to do with that animal. So Thoth, let's talk about him in his baboon form for a moment. So the baboon form of Thoth is the more, he teaches by challenges. He teaches by giving you something that's kind of hard and distracts you in a way so that you can really, he teaches you through that to be very, very focused. So it's like if you're learning how to do readings and you try to do them, let's say in a busy restaurant or at a park. So that's going to help you to focus on what is going on in front of you with you and your client, rather than the guy walking his dog over here, someone over here is sending back their order because it's wrong, these kinds of things. So why the Egyptian gods and goddesses have all of these different animal heads, it has to do with the divinity of all of life around them, how they perceived the natural elements of the world, and the purpose and the focus of each of the individual gods, and how that correlates to the characteristics and personality of that animal that they are being shown in that form. So I hope that that was helpful. If you have other questions for me about the Egyptian gods and goddesses, how to connect with them, any specific questions about any specific one, please reach out. You can do that at thegoddessinside.com. There's a contact me form. Also, if you just need to, stay in touch, I would love to stay in touch. Be sure you get on my email list. I've got a great audio presentation available for you for free that you can listen to and download. It's kind of like getting a free presentation in class with me. And I do a lot of teaching online, so this would be a great way for me to introduce myself to you and for you to get to know me and my teaching style, to see if that's something that you want to follow up on and you want to learn more about the Egyptian gods and goddesses and how to use them in your life in a practical and meaningful way. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video.